Okay, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining for the Southwest Coda's online marketing series. I'm MJ, and this is brought to you by the La Plata County Economic Recovery Task Force. This is our third to last webinar. We are finishing up on Friday, but all of them will be archived on SWCODA.org website. That's SWCODA.org. So you can go back and review these short vignettes that's focused around things that you can do during COVID and beyond that to sharpen your brand's marketing skills and optimize your online presence. So thank you to all the local, sorry about that, all the local marketing professionals that have joined us to teach these classes. It's a huge thanks to them. They've donated their time and knowledge, so really appreciate it. A couple housekeeping things we're going to do is just like usual, do the Q&A after the presentation in the toolbar below, and Tyler can answer any questions that you have. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to our instructor for today, Tyler Rice. He's returning. He's taught us a couple webinars in the past couple weeks. He is one of the owners of Animus Marketing, and today he's going to talk about e-commerce strategies. So Tyler, I will let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Folks, it's great to join you, and hopefully we can join each other to learn a lot of great things for building your e-commerce business. And so, like she said, I'm one of the co-owners at Animus Marketing and founder. I graduated from Fort Lewis in Durango, Colorado, and from there in marketing. And from there, I started Animus Marketing, and we've worked with tons of businesses from Steamworks to Southwest Health System to 43 CBD. We've worked with a lot of different range of businesses, and e-commerce is definitely one of our favorite to work with because there's so much you can do with it. So jumping in, we're going to look at this roadmap. We're going to start with talking about some general things of why the website is so important and needs to be the focal point of all strategies. We're going to talk about lead magnets and jump into the sales funnel and what that means. And then we're going to dive into different aspects and different strategies that you can implement for your e-commerce business to help generate sales and customer acquisition. So getting started, starting with the website, this is something that is so, so easily overlooked, and so many people kind of brush it off, because it's that mentality of once you build the website, if you like it, then you assume that everyone's going to like it. The website needs to be absolutely perfected and continuously needs to be worked on in order to generate, new customers and to improve upon that, customer acquisition rate, right? Because that's where everyone's going to land for your e-commerce. If somebody has a problem, if people have problems on a mobile device, or say it takes 5 seconds to load your home page versus 3 seconds, then that's something you would want to improve to, bring in more users. So that's definitely one of the most important things to start off with, is to make sure your website is all in order. Website speed should definitely be a priority. Not only is it a huge search engine ranking factor, the website speed, but also you got to think, we live in a time where people's attention span just changes so quickly. So grabbing that attention is really hard now in 2020. So, if your website doesn't immediately load, you could be losing customers just like that who hop back to Google or to whatever search engine or channel they came through and search for a competitor. So make sure your website speed is completely built up. If you have WordPress, there's tons of plugins out there. And, if you're working with Squarespace and Wix, you can contact your hosting companies, kind of ask them what you can do to improve upon your server speed or website speed. So that being said, make sure you connect Google Search Console and Google Analytics. Those are really important tools to have. You need to have those metrics to be able to know what you're working with. And then finally, performing site audits that kind of goes with that website speed of knowing what's wrong with your website and how to fix it. There's always stuff you can fix upon it. So continuously doing that is really important. So moving on, let's talk about lead magnet, which is one of the most important kind of strategies to pull in users' attention. A lead magnet is a irresistible offer or bribe to trade for an individual's contact information. So this has been going on for years. It's just now that this kind of offer has been more finely tuned within the past 10 years, since our attention has changed drastically. Since the internet opened up, you had all these sign up for the newsletter pop-ups. So that simply just doesn't work anymore, because the thing is, nobody cares. People don't care. People come to Animas Marketing, they come looking for possibly a solution to a business growth issue. They don't care about a sign up for the newsletter unless I'm there offering them something in return. Because that's the thing. These people are giving up their contact information. They're giving us something valuable, so we need to give them something valuable in return. So, we look at this picture here. We've got these online piano lessons. They offer the free piano lessons, the 4 free videos. It's enough to get a person hooked and get a person, involved. And then at that point, you can either try to push them to, purchase a full course, or perhaps you could even have them, further down the line by purchasing our group of 20 videos for the low price of $5, just kind of getting them more and more involved. But this lead magnet, super, super important to have. So ideas of that would be train videos or first video of a series. So say you're a at-home fitness instructor, having some free content for people, some free gated content would be a really good way to do that. It could be, here's 10 superfoods you should eat to live a healthier life. And, that's something that would attract part of your target audience. And so then they sign up, they give you your email, and then they get the free video. You're giving them value for that. First time user coupons, first time here, get 20% off. We're all pretty, we all know about coupons and such. You can do free trials, case studies, getting somebody interested. You could offer software or an ebook. If you've got, say you're traveling around and living the van life, and you want to share that with other people on your travel blog. Well, you could create an ebook that's, 10 essential items you need to live out of your van or whatnot. And, that's something that directly speaks to that target audience. So, you create an ebook for that would be really good, get people involved. And then you have their contact and you can send them emails from there on forth. And they've entered kind of this sales customer journey. A webinar recording is also really good, or just a webinar in general. We've done that. We've done that a bit for Animas Marketing, as well as just offering that free information for people. And once you do that once, if we give a webinar, say, we talk about Google Analytics and how to set that up on the site. Well, we can record that, and save that video for later reference of using as a lead magnet. So, saving that is, really good and helpful. So there's kind of some lead magnet ideas, and this is to generate those leads, right? Because right now it's not so cut and dry. If someone finds you and they want to buy your brand, it goes so much more beyond that. There's a lot of work in each step of the process. So this lead magnet is kind of that first step of the process, is that you want to generate leads. You want to generate people that might have some interest in your product. This is your target audience. So looking at that kind of gets people started in what we call in the industry the sales funnel. And the sales funnel is, there's a bunch of different types of it. You could see that the words may change and the steps may change, but the idea still remains the same. is that when you generate a customer, they give you their contact information, and then you move them down this funnel until they make a purchase and until they become an advocate for your brand. So starting with that, we start with the awareness step, which is, essentially people are aware of your brand. They know about you. That is where you could use, for example, like SEO and content. You write let's say you own a, guitar company. You own a acoustic guitar company, and, you're trying to sell people guitars. Well, it's not as easy as someone seeing it and, right away they want to buy it. Well, maybe you write a blog on why ebony wood is the perfect wood to use for acoustic guitar blog. And then you put that out toward your audience. And then while they're on that blog, they might, get an offer or something, something where they give their contact and move down the funnel. But starting off, you're giving this information. You're making people be aware of your product. You're not even right now just selling anything, because you're just giving out information in the form of an article. Just getting people aware, getting people interested. And then they notice, hey, this person sells custom guitars out of Durango, Colorado. So that's when we're talking about generating interest in the next stage. That's where we can kind of implement those lead magnets and such and get people intrigued and interested in your brand. You have something irresistible that you want to continue, like buy one, get one free of this tincture for first-time users. Like, hey, this sale ends in 24 hours. Someone might just jump on board, or at least give their contact information, and then look at other competitors and kind of compare, because that moves us to the next thing, which is decision. We live in a time where everybody's comparing all the time. I mean, we all do it. We go on Amazon, and if we want to purchase something, say we want to purchase a basketball, I don't know, and go online and then look at 20 different basketballs from different brands, and we read customer reviews. We want to know how many reviews there's been. We want to know what the rating is. We even waste all this time reading, what are the most helpful reviews, and what few one-star reviews did this product get? What do I need to be aware of? So, that's all in the deciding factor, which is where it comes in. That's important to have, have those Google reviews in place, and to have that offer to really, something that sets you off from the competitors. Then finally, that drives to the action where we get a purchase from a customer, and from there, hopefully we want them to be an advocate for the brand and to, spread the word from there. So that's kind of the sales funnel, and where different parts come into play. You want to know where that customer is in the funnel. So for the awareness, we talked about SEO, informational content. That could also be, social media campaign, or simply posting on Facebook or Instagram, that brand awareness. In that intent stage, we have that lead magnet. We also have remarketing, which is super important, because, let's say that you had, 1,000 people visit this informational piece on ebony guitars and why ebony is the best wood to have for your guitar. Well, those 1,000 people, let's say maybe 5 of them gave their email address, and the rest of them just got that information, got distracted, and left. Well, we can take those 1,000 people using pixels, right? Using tracking code on that page, and take those 1,000 people and send them out an ad later, send them out a campaign later, to kind of keep your brand top of mind, to remind them that you're there. So, if the people are reading that blog, you can place a tracking pixel for Facebook or Google Ads. There's tons of different tracking codes, and we'll kind of go over that in a little bit. The decision phase, we want to talk about those reviews and testimonials. Having those in place is super important. When it comes to Google reviews, when you're first getting started out, you really need to do whatever you can to build up any sort of reviews. If you have a friend that you did a small project for, and they're your close buddy, force them down and make them write you a review, because having that, having those in place is super important when people are deciding between different brands. And then action, we want to take those customers. Not only do we want them to make the purchase, but we want them to be so happy and stoked about the product that they're telling their friends about it, that they're coming back for more. So going on with different strategies, we've got on-page SEO. This is, super important to kind of like build up that website and to have people find you for those keywords. So different aspects of that is going to be keyword research. We want to know what, keywords we can use that people are going to find, your business. If you're selling leather dog collars, then maybe you want to have a keyword that's, extra large leather dog collar, and have, that product page optimized with that specific keyword plugged in. From there, we've got competitor analysis. What are the best players in the game? What are they doing? Why are they so good? And how can we replicate it? There's tons of good programs out there. We use SEMrush to look into competitors and say, well, what are they doing? Why are they ranked so high on Google? What kind of links do they have? And are we able to get those links as well? So placing those keywords on your pages and titles, meta tags, headlines, and alt tags, which are tags inside images. So also content is really, really super important. You want to shoot for, if I'm writing an article, I shoot for writing at least 1,400 words now. So if you have a home page that only has, 150 words, Google bots might look at that and be like, well, this website isn't very authoritative. So we're not going to rank them very high. So do what you can to really, write out that content, and adding videos and images, anything to spruce it up is really going to go a long way there. And we already talked about page speed. So going off that, we've got off-page SEO, competitor analysis we just talked about. For example, one of our clients is an online CBD retailer. I look at the top CBD online brands, and I want to know, what websites are linking to them. And then I find those, I make a list of it, and then I contact them personally. And, and then from there, what do I need to do to get that same link? Do I need to pay $300 for them to, link to our website and write a review? Or do I need to contact them and write a guest post? Because there's lots of different ways to do it. But having that analysis and understanding, why they're so high is going to help out quite a bit. So building up the backlinks with relevant industry leaders is a really fantastic way to build up an online e-commerce site. Definitely takes a lot of time, because a lot of popular strategies are just very time consuming. For example, like guest blogging and free product send outs. So going on that example, if we've got this CBD business, and how can we build out links from industry leaders? Well, if we've got, say, $1,000 to work with, then I can take that budget and say, all right, well, I can use $300 to get a link from Leafly.com, or a very high authoritative site, or I could use my time to write a 1,000-word article for someone else just to have a link in there. Or, that being said, if you don't have the budget, well, then use products to your advantage. We have a campaign where, we have hundreds of people that we built a list of hundreds of influencers and bloggers, of all various different kinds. We're talking healthcare, we're talking adventure, all different industries. So we reached out to these bloggers. We said, hey, we want to send you some free products, and just see what you think of it. See what you think. So, we do that, and then we reach back out to them. Hey, what did you think? Most of them have been absolutely stoked that we sent them free stuff. So if that's the case, many of them were more than happy to write a review, to talk about us, to share us with their audience. So free product send out is a fantastic, fantastic way to do that. But that being said, it's very timely, very timely process. So look into getting virtual assistants to help. You know, you've got, you know, working wages in different areas of the world are quite different, and, you know, so is the cost of living. So if you're doing something that is, you know, data entry, just plugging away, like building a list of people, consider, you know, hiring a virtual assistant to be able to help build that out for you. So moving on from there, we've got content marketing. So that's what we were talking about with that off-page SEO and building out those articles. So it's good to have specific long-tail keywords that have good opportunities there. So for example, we have, you know, we have the Animas Marketing brand, and let's say I'm researching articles and I come across, you know, digital marketing influencers in 2020, that keyword example. And I noticed at the top ranking page, their content isn't that much or isn't that good. Well, I can take that and I say, hey, there's good opportunity here because the top ranking page isn't really that fantastic. Or maybe it's good, but it could be a lot better. So I can take that and basically use what's called, what we like to call the skyscraper technique, and basically take what I have, completely make it into your own idea. You know, you're writing your own content, never ever plagiarize or copy from other people, but you're targeting the same keyword. Just make better content, make it longer, make it more informative, and get people more interested. And that's what's going to rank you up there. So yeah, and then from there you can have those lead magnets on the page and pulling people in from that informational stage. You don't have to sell on all of your content. So get it out of your head, the whole sell, sell, sell all the time idea. You want to provide potential customers value and their trust, and to have them coming back. And that's what's really going to build up your brand. Rich snippets is another great strategy that works super well for e-commerce. Helps provide and more information, increases click-through rates. So I have a couple examples here. We have those two examples. You see how, you know, we've got like the CBD examples. We've got one, the top one with the 5 stars, ratings 5. It's got 6 reviews. It's $150. It's in stock. Okay, and then the one below doesn't have any of that. Well, that's because, you know, that is specific code and data put in there that Google, when they get to there, hey, this has, you know, this many customer reviews, this is that many ratings. When a customer sees, you know, this more information, it's more catching through the eye, it builds more trust. They know other people have bought this, you know, and you're increasing, you know, like how many customers are going to come to the site that are actually going to buy, because they see the price right off the bat as well. They see it's in stock. So that's a really awesome way to increase click-through rates and customer acquisition. You can use Google Structured Data Markup Helper to help create that information for you, to plug it into the website. You can also use what is called schema code to do that. You can do that on, you know, on any website, whether it's WordPress or Wix or whatnot. So rich snippets, also use. Email marketing is definitely really one of the more important aspects of it. You know, you want to give your audience special offers. This is where you pull them in from the lead magnet. Remember, you don't always have to sell. You can, you know, provide valuable content, you know, to keep readers engaged and keep those unsubscribes to a minimum. Give people a reason to be on your email, and get engaging headlines that can sometimes be controversial, something to catch the eye, something that, you know, like, what is this? What, like, it wants me to read more. It could even be a headline that says, oops, hey, we messed up again. You know, well, that's something, you know, that catches my eye. I want to know what they messed up on. And just, you know, having something catchy, you know, whether it's an offer or an informational pitch, speech is really good. Honesty and transparency always wins. No matter what, going about your business in 100% ethical way is definitely, more important than anything. Not only does it help you feel good about your decisions, but it's ultimately going to bring in more trust to your brand, and people are going to really appreciate that a lot more. And also we have welcome email sequences. So when somebody signs up for this lead magnet, what's the next steps? Okay, well, the next step is, say, you have a welcome email that's 3 different stages. Okay, well, stage 1, hey, welcome to Animus Marketing. My name is Tyler Rice. This is what you can expect from us. Email 2, hey, did you know that you can get, yada, yada. Having this kind of email sequence, is a good way to get people prepped up and understand what they're getting into, what they're going to get from your newsletter, and also gives you an opportunity to offer them a little special something for get on board with the email. We use MailChimp quite a bit. It's not my favorite. There's others like Constant Contact, whatnot. But what we do quite often is we'll make a template that's basically the basics of the emails, and then kind of drag and drop the content from there. Because we don't want to craft different design and emails every time we create one. We want to do this at the least amount of time as possible. So use templates to your advantage there. Optimization click-through rate is super important with e-commerce. You want to know how each step of your business is performing. You want to know how to improve upon each step, each part of the funnel. We talked about that sales funnel earlier. So, we want to know how each is performing. How many people, what is the percentage of people that see the lead magnet and sign up for it? Is it 3% of people? Well, how do we change that to 4%? Do we change the image? Do we change the text? Okay, people are getting on an email. How many people are reading the first welcome email? How many people are clicking a link on that first email? What is the percentage of that? How do we improve upon that? So continuously improving and optimizing on your content and on your funnels is overall going to help bring in more customers. It's super, super important. This is very, if anything, this is a very important step of the process. So if you're making changes, let's say you have this lead magnet that has a picture of, an apple, and then you decide to do, you get 4% conversion rate. Well, you change the picture to an orange and want to see how that rolls. So you test it for a month. You notice that the conversion rate drops down to 3%. Well, hey, that's okay, because it's not always going to work out. We don't know exactly always how our audience is going to react. So if that decreased the conversion rate, well, simply refresh and restart. Go back to where it was before. Maybe keep the picture of the apples and change the headline slightly. Little changes like this can really go a long way to increase that purchase and conversion rate. So yeah, change one step at a time. Don't have to change everything. You want to know, is it the picture that's increasing conversions? Is it the copy? Is it the design of it? Really, really super important. So, when looking at that, here's an example of a pretty complex funnel, but, it helps give you an idea of, we've got here, this channel of someone getting in through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, whatever that is, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google. That is the channel they come through. They land on the squeeze page, and say that's 70% of people land on that. Well, 20% of people move to the next part, which is the survey, and then they can either sign up for the webinar, and it sends them down this path at the top, or 40% of them go down and choose the second option, leave, and then maybe it's to remarketing. And you can kind of get an idea of how complex funnel can look and the percentages involved, and how tweaking just one early step of this funnel can really affect the whole outcome of the rest of the journey. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about building out funnels and the steps that people are going to take in order to purchase your product. Google Analytics, the shopping behavior, super important to have for your e-commerce site. You want to know how people are working on your website, and this goes along with the percentages and optimization. Well, if we look at here, we see, an example where, let's say this month, we have 2,500 people that visited the website. Okay, well, 28.5% of them looked at products. Okay, can we improve that? Can we aim for 30%? Should we change maybe the heading of the home page, and maybe it'll drive more product views? That's stuff that we can all work on and try to improve upon that. 35% of those product views are added to cart. Okay, can we improve upon that? Do we need to make it easier for people to add to the cart? Do we need to change the copy? People that are adding the cart to the checkout, 75%. You kind of get this idea of how you can really build upon each step of the journey, and having this Google Analytics is really important to understand that, because if you notice that a lot of people are adding products or looking at products on your website, but not many people are adding to cart, that's the kind of steps that's falling behind and not working well. Well, that's something you need to improve. So metrics is super important to understand. Reporting is also incredibly important. This is built using Google Data Studio, and it kind of gives you an example of what you can look at overall, right? If we're looking at kind of the emails, we see, the subscriber count, we can see the open rate, click-through rate. Why is that click rate down 10%? Did we, use too many sales promotions? Is there too many emojis in the headlines? This is all things to be considered and to continuously improve upon. I can come down here and look at each email individually and see, well, which ones had the best open rates? Well, okay, this one had an open rate of 21%. That's great. Click-through rate, why did this one have 0.5%? Why is the reason of that? So we can, avoid that in the future. So use reporting to your advantage. Social media and pixels. We all know about social media and it being good for business. I'm going to say don't post on every social media platform if it's not worth your time. If your audience is hanging out on Facebook, and you don't need to be spouting off stuff on Twitter and wasting your time there if nobody's seeing it. And the same goes for if you're a law firm and you're trying to bring in more customers, you don't need to use Instagram. You don't really have picture content to send out to people, nor is your audience really looking for a lawyer on Instagram. So pick your battles. Don't try to go on every single social media platform and waste your time. Pixels are great for social media, though. If people are viewing your content, you can use that pixels to reach out to them back on social media. If people are say people are visiting a specific product page but decided not to make that purchase, they got distracted and left. Well, you can take all those people that visit that specific product page and send them out an ad with that product on Facebook within days, right, or hours even. So look into pixels. There's something like Facebook is clear instructions on how to connect it with popular e-commerce platforms like WooCommerce and Shopify and all that jazzy stuff. Remarketing and tracking code, so that's part of that pixels, but there's also tracking code that can be used for Google Ads or Perfect Audience display advertising. There's hundreds of third-party advertisers. The concept is still the same. Is you take a tracking code and you place it either manually in HTML, or you use a WordPress plugin or a product like Google Tag Manager. So look into that, because there's so many oftentimes where you won't make that initial purchase. You need to kind of keep reaching out to that person, keep reminding them that you're there. Affiliate marketing is another kind of aspect in e-commerce strategy of this whole thing. There's tons of different third-party affiliate programs. You can have one in-house. It's not really too difficult to set up, but sometimes both can be good. You know, if you have a third-party affiliate program, you're obviously paying a third party to help find those affiliates for you. These affiliates could be, you know, bloggers looking to make money by, you know, talking about your products, or it could be coupon websites. It's another way to help increase sales. So, you know, generally an idea of what we do for, you know, is we kind of offer 20% for affiliates, and, you know, generally they, you know, and then they go out and promote the product. This also helps build off-page SEO because, you know, they're putting links to your website on their website. So, you know, having the affiliate marketing kind of helps in more ways than one. Not only is it going to help with referrals and increasing sales from that channel, but it's also going to help increase the online search visibility of your website. So also, you know, this is another good opportunity to look into hiring a virtual assistant to help bring on the valuable affiliates, because a lot of it can be very tedious work of just sending out invites to people and sending emails and such. For the reporting, know that Google Analytics is a must. Conversion tracking code with Google Analytics is a must. Both of those things, make sure you have them for your website. It's not difficult. Google has clear instructions in there. Learn from your mistakes and know how to work with your audience, who your audience is, and how to better speak with them. It's, you know, it's just like any craft or anything. You're never going to be the expert. You know, you always want to keep working. You know, you always want to keep improving upon it. So, you know, this same goes for e-commerce. You're always working to make it better and better. So I've got some neat resources here that I'd like to give out to y'all. We have, you know, more information on what a lead magnet is, different examples of that. Here is a link for conversion tracking and how to set that up. We talked about the skyscraper technique with content marketing. So I have a link included to that that's very detailed on how to write your content and kind of bring it to the top of results and really write some fantastic content. We've got the welcome email template from Digital Marketer, which helps drive you in the right direction of, you know, what kind of email should I craft when people first get to my website. So that's presentation right there. I appreciate y'all listening and taking the time to spend with me. If you have questions, please reach out. You know, I'd love to help out and know about your specific businesses, right? Because different strategies work well for different people, and, you know, knowing the right strategies at first can be difficult. So if you have any questions right now, please reach out and be more than happy to help out. And yeah, thanks for joining me and listening.
Thanks, Tyler. That was great. Okay, does anyone have any questions? If you do, put it into the Q&A chat below, and Tyler can answer any questions you have. And as usual, this is recorded, so it's going to be archived and you can review again. And then we'll also be sending out Tyler's contact information in the follow-up email, so you can ask him any questions there. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any other questions. Tyler, is there any other quick summaries or anything that you want to add, or you good?
Sure, yeah. Just, you know, first of all, I want to thank the Southwest Business Development Center for, you know, having me and putting this on for everybody. You know, really awesome of them. And yeah, if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to, you know, reach out. I'd be more than happy to help out and send out advice. Make sure you're doing reporting and optimizing each step along the way. And yeah, I'll kind of leave it on that.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Tyler. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye.